One person. We are just one person. How can we make a difference? Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Toastmasters International is 100 years old this year. 100 years ago, one person decided to try to make a difference and start something so that people could become better leaders and public speakers. 100 years ago. 5 years later, one person that I know of was born, and that's Phyllis Allen. She is 95 years old. So 5 years after Toastmasters started, Phyllis Allen was born. She has 2 brothers, 2 sisters, grew up on a farm in Des Moines, Iowa, helped milk the cows, did all the good stuff that a kid does when they grow up on a farm in Iowa. One person. I don't think that Phyllis, at the age of 10 or 15 or maybe even 20, thought, one day I'm going to change the world for the better. I don't think she thought that. I don't think too many kids think that way. But what happened with Phyllis is she went, grew up, got married Slim, a great guy, and we miss him very much. And they lived their lives together. Had a kid, a daughter, Janice. She now has 4 grandsons and multiple great grandkids that she loves, and every single one of them. But let's go back to Toastmasters for a minute. In 1973, when Toastmasters was still all men only, in other words, if you were a woman, you couldn't join Toastmasters. So one woman in 1978 by the name of Helen Blanchard put her name down and didn't use the Helen. I believe she wrote just the initial H. Blanchard submitted her application, and Toastmasters International allowed her application to be submitted. She was now a member. And then they found out she was a woman. One person. It took one person to change the trajectory of Toastmasters International. As soon as they allowed women to start joining, their enrollment doubled. That many women wanted to know how to be able to publicly speak and become a leader. Now, our one person, Phyllis Allen, was terrified of public speaking. She was actually the top secretary to a CEO of a business. So she took all the shorthand notes. She did all of that, filed everything in pristine condition. But one day, her boss said, Phyllis, you're going to need to read the minutes of the meeting back to the organization. What? I can't do that. I'm the secretary. I just do shorthand. I file. I'll do anything but public speak. But Phyllis got in front of the entire executive committee and gave the notes to the meeting. She almost thought she was going to pass out after. She was so nervous. But then Phyllis did something that a lot of us do but don't act on. She went and looked for something that would help her overcome her fear of public speaking. So she went to a couple of speech crafts, and then she joined in oh my gosh, I don't have the number right, but I know it's been 47 years that she's been in Toastmasters. So 47 years ago, Phyllis got the courage to go and join Toastmasters. All right, so she joins Toastmasters. She gives a few speeches, gets more comfortable, and then actually starts to like giving speeches. In fact, she liked it so much, she started running for district offices there in Des Moines, Iowa. And for those of you that don't know, you usually start out as an area director, and then you go to division director, and then you go to district director, which is the entire district is now under you. And who went and achieved that goal in Des Moines, Iowa? Phyllis Allen. She's a past district director of District 19, Des Moines, Iowa. She went from being terrified to give minutes at a meeting to a district director now running an entire district. One person. Well, so how do we know about Phyllis? Why is she here and not in Des Moines, Iowa? Well, her and her husband retired, and they started listening to all the other people saying, what is everybody doing when they retire? They would do square dancing. Slim would call the dances, he would partner around and around. I mean, he was good. He actually gave me a demonstration one time, and he was phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. So then they started asking, well, here in Des Moines, Iowa, it snows for like 3 months. What was everybody doing? Everybody in Des Moines, Iowa that didn't want to mess with snow, that were tired of it, they started coming to South Texas. Because in South Texas, our Christmases, our Decembers and Januaries, we had this much snow. As in 0. As in it's 80 degrees on Christmas Day. And for them, that was perfect. No shoveling anything, no slipping and sliding and falling, no snow. So they start to vacation down here. And they're doing all the square dancing and having a great time. And then Phyllis thinks, you know what? I love Toastmasters so much. Let me go ahead and join a club down here, but I'm not going to be a director. I'm not going to be anything. I'm just going to go and have fun at the meetings, maybe give a speech. So she goes and looks for a club in South Texas and finds how many clubs down here? 0. 0 clubs in South Texas. What? Are you kidding me? So one person, Phyllis Allen, decides to change that. She runs speech crafts. She gets people interested. She gets everybody together. You need 20 members or more, collects all the dues, submits all the paperwork, and charters a club. And another club. And another club. And another club. And another club. That is why right now in South Texas, we have Toastmasters clubs because of one person. Now, why am I talking so great about Phyllis as if she's the best person on the planet? Well, because for me, she is the best person on the planet. You see, I retired about 15 years ago, and I decided to move back home, which was here. I had been in Toastmasters in Austin, Texas, and I absolutely loved it. But I made the mistake when our corporation shut down that club. I didn't go looking for another club, and I should have. I moved down here. I don't have internet in my home, and I think, let me go to the library so I can use the internet there, get all my bills paid, get everything set up, all my utilities. And I walk into the very front of the library, and on the front door, in a bright yellow piece of construction paper, join Toastmasters. Yes, I'm going to join Toastmasters again because I'm retired now, because I love to give speeches, and because this is something I should have done and I didn't do. So I remember walking into this library, going to the second floor, and walking into the room, and there were about 15 people there. And I was welcomed by every single one of them. I believe I came back the next Wednesday and joined. That was 13 years ago. Okay, Luisa, so you joined Toastmasters. Phyllis started the club. And then one person told me, you need to compete in the international speech contest. What? No, Phyllis, I like humor. I do humor. She goes, do humorous, but you also need to do international. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll throw a little humor into the speech every now and then. So for 7 years, I compete. And 7 years, I don't get past district. I tell Phyllis, this is the last time I'm doing this. I'm not doing this anymore. 6 times I've lost. Take the hint, Luisa. Go home. Be quiet. She said, you know why you're not winning, Luisa? Wait, Phyllis, you've known for 7 years why I'm not winning, and you're just now telling me? She said, Luisa, You're not having fun. What, fun? Phyllis, this is a contest, not a con-fun. It's a contest. They're testing me. But I listened to her because she'd been in Toastmasters so many years. She had started all the clubs here. And in 2019, I went out on the world stage with 7 other people, and I had fun. I came in second in the world that year in 2019. Other people have encouraged me, along with Phyllis, to keep going. And last year, I got on the world stage and came in first place in the world. And now, I'm on the cover of a book of all the rules and regulations of Toastmasters International. So why do I speak about Phyllis? I speak about Phyllis because sometimes we think as one person, we cannot make a difference. Sometimes we think as one person, we can't inspire others. But yet here I am today standing in front of you because of one person. Thank you, Phyllis.